Angel Reese's latest podcast decision has left her listeners disappointed, primarily due to her choice of guest. Yeah, I think a lot of people were like, who cares about these people?
Angel Reese, one of the standout stars of women's basketball, recently made a bold decision for her podcast that left many of her listeners shaking their heads. What was supposed to be a platform celebrating her journey in sports turned into something far removed from her roots, and fans didn't hold back their disappointment. The podcast's latest episode, featuring reality TV personalities Jada Chivas and Des Dior, quickly became a hot topic for all the wrong reasons. When the episode aired, the response was swift, and not in a good way. In fact, the numbers dropped drastically, with some episodes reaching as low as 66 views, which is a huge contrast to the usual high viewership Angel commands as a top basketball player. Her podcast, which had been steadily growing, seemed to hit an unexpected roadblock. So, what went wrong? Fans felt completely disconnected from the content when Angel chose to discuss topics like dating wealthy men and online criticism instead of the basketball insights they were used to. For those who followed her career and podcast, the sudden shift felt like a betrayal. They tuned in for discussions about sports, athleticism, and the challenges of being a pro athlete, but instead, they got a conversation that could have come straight out of a reality TV.
Dejanay Carrington, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and basketball legend Lisa Leslie, to musicians like Sexy Red, Glorilla, and more, the Sky Forward received positive feedback from listeners and viewers. However, the most recent episode received a
sharper turn when the conversation moved to personal relationships. Jada and Des Dior talked about their preference for dating men who earn more money than they do. Angel joined in, discussing the insecurities that some men have when their female partners out-earn them. It wasn't exactly the kind of high-level sports talk that had attracted her audience in the first place. Fans expressed their frustration across social media. One longtime follower said, "I've been a fan since Angel's college."
Jada Cheeves and Des Doria? I don't know. I don't even care. Who discussed their experiences on season 1 of BET's The Impact Atlanta, as well as their candid views on online criticism.
Negative feedback kept pouring in, with many followers unsubscribing and voicing their disappointment. What started as a lighthearted interview quickly spiraled into a full-blown backlash, with listeners feeling like they were being fed content they could hear anywhere else. Angel's decision to feature reality TV stars as guests on a podcast meant to focus on basketball left many fans wondering if she had lost touch.
As for Reese, she mentioned men's insecurities when it comes to women earning a higher income than their partners. Is that still a thing? That still bothers people? Okay. Quote, a lot of men don't also like women. My God, the grammar. What the bleep? A lot of men don't also like women that got their own. My God, folks. You read quotes from her, your IQ points just melt away.
For the most part, Angel's audience had followed her for insights into her career, her growth as an athlete, and her personal connection to the game. Her latest episode felt like a departure from everything that had made her podcast stand out. While comparisons to Caitlin Clark's rising podcast popularity only added to the pressure, Angel's choice to veer off course might have cost her some of the loyal following.
Their dismay over the responses they gave about money and relationships, feeling it overshadowed other important topics. Quote, they said a lot of nothing. The responses are dumb.
Fans wanted to hear about the grind, the training, the wins, and even the struggles of being a top-level athlete, not superficial conversations that felt more at home on a gossip channel. In the end, Angel's podcast misstep serves as a reminder that when you've built a platform on one thing, shifting focus too dramatically can have unintended consequences. If Angel wants to keep her audience engaged, she'll have to recalibrate and remember who got her to where she is today. It seems like the focus on Angel Reese's podcast has taken a dramatic turn, and her loyal fans are starting to notice. While many were excited to hear her share her experiences in basketball, it's becoming clear that she may be leaning more into celebrity culture than the sport that made her famous. Some viewers are now questioning her direction. Is she shifting from basketball to becoming more of a reality TV personality? It's a sentiment that's resonating with fans who supported her rise in women's basketball, but are now wondering if basketball is taking a back seat to fame. One fan even commented, "This is like watching kids judge food they haven't eaten," while another jokingly said, "I think I'm losing brain cells listening to this podcast." It's clear that some listeners are feeling disappointed, with many saying they could feel their IQ dropping with every minute of the conversation. This wasn't just a simple misstep, it caused a significant exodus of followers. Fans who had supported Angel throughout her career began.
Another person added, quote, "This is like the one podcast where 3 kids judge food they haven't eaten, laugh out loud." The same goes for a commenter who said, "Losing brain cells listening to this podcast." I just said IQ points were literally melting away from my brain pan as we
putting out. What was once a podcast that reflected her journey as a professional athlete quickly turned into something more focused on celebrity talk and drama. The situation sparked broader conversations about authenticity in the world of athletic platforms and the responsibility athletes have to their audiences. Fans started comparing Angel's approach to other athletes who maintained a stronger connection to their values and core audience. And then the numbers really told the story. It's one thing to hear about an audience decline, but seeing it laid out in front of you? That's a wake-up call. Angel's podcast viewership literally took a nosedive. The numbers are staggering. Episodes that used to get thousands of views now barely reach triple digits. One episode recently had only 66 views.
Angel, all these women out here doing phenomenal things, but you choose rappers' girlfriends to interview, just really throws me. That's a hell of a good comment.
That's almost unfathomable. Let's break it down. Angel was once part of Shaquille O'Neal's big podcast network, which gave her instant credibility and professional support. Her podcast was a major platform, hosting respected figures like DJ Carrington, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and Lisa Leslie, guests who resonated deeply with her basketball fanbase. But how did she go from hosting those icons to barely getting a few hundred views? For perspective, imagine a star athlete, fresh off a championship season, with massive media coverage, and yet her
the hundreds. Yes, you heard me correctly. Views.
5,000 views in a week. It's baffling. The numbers are so bad, they're almost unbelievable. The disconnect between Angel's huge social media following and her podcast's actual viewership is a major red flag. It's clear that this shift has had consequences. Many are left wondering what happened to the Angel Reese they knew, focused, determined, and passionate about the sport. If she's not careful, she could risk losing the very audience.
Her podcast, man, because y'all might think I'm lying. I am not lying. This is not clickbait at all, guys. So as we pull up the Unapologetically Angel podcast, I mean, hell, she just released the episode 10 minutes ago. It got 66 views. This one right here.
Angel Reese's podcast has taken a dramatic fall, and the numbers don't lie. Just a week ago, her viewership was still riding high, but now it's a different story. It wasn't a slow decline over time. This was a sudden, sharp drop, like a fast break that ended with a blocked shot. One day, Angel had a solid audience. The next, that audience was almost gone. What?
I mean, damn. Angel Reese haven't got over 5,000 views in over a week, dog. Last time she got 100,000.
That the timing of the drop directly followed her controversial episode featuring reality TV personalities. The viewership numbers tell a chilling story of a catastrophic collapse that happened almost overnight. Her audience engagement has dropped by over 90%, a jaw-dropping figure that highlights just how quickly her fans disconnected. Imagine putting in months of hard work, building something, and then seeing it all
went downhill after this interview, bruh. I can't even lie. But it's looking like it's been going downhill since before this damn interview. I can't even lie to you. It's looking like Kennedy Carter.
With Angel's podcast. It's not just that people are drifting away slowly, they're actively unsubscribing, unfollowing her, and distancing themselves from her brand. This isn't just a misstep, it's a full-blown fallout. One of the most shocking parts? Even with Shaquille O'Neal's big podcast network backing her up and all the professional production support that comes with it, Angel couldn't keep her audience. It's clear now that her content was missing the mark. What started as an exciting new platform for basketball fans was quickly derailed by a series of guest appearances that didn't resonate with the people who were there for sports content, not celebrity gossip. Fans expected insightful discussions about basketball,
breaking it up, but damn, dog, it ain't looking good for Angel, bruh. Now, I just wanted to show y'all the numbers, to show y'all I wasn't clickbaiting.
Follow conversations about relationships and money in the entertainment industry, topics that felt more at home on a reality TV show than on a sports podcast. The impact was immediate and severe. One social media user summed it up harshly with a comment saying, "Least informative pod."
And these, what I call D-list celebrities, which is the reality TV show, that's a D-list celebrity. They're not an actual celebrity, really and truly. It's not like they won American Idol.
But it wasn't just the fans' comments, it was the dramatic loss in viewership. The numbers are hard to ignore. An episode that once would have garnered 100,000 views now barely gets 66, 100, or a few hundred. It's a catastrophic drop for someone with her fame and a built-in basketball fan base. The real turning point came when Angel responded to the backlash. Instead of taking the opportunity to listen to her fans and reassure them, she posted a tweet.
First comment wrote the least informative podcast on earth. Yikes.
Shut the F **** up. You don't watch, thank you. This aggressive dismissal of her critics turned a simple content misstep into a full-fledged PR disaster. The timing couldn't have been worse. Just hours after her controversial tweet, the numbers revealed how badly her podcast was performing, turning what could have been a minor issue into a full-blown crisis. It was like a critical turnover in the final seconds of a tied championship game. Fans didn't hold back. Some reminded Angel.
Here, Angel Reese stated, "This is my podcast. Shut the F up. You don't watch."
Fans didn't hold back. Some reminded Angel of past mistakes, like her controversial interview with rapper DaBaby, which they felt was a misstep. Now, with her podcast viewership in freefall, Angel faces a critical decision. Will she listen to her audience and bring the focus back to the basketball content they want, or continue down a path that may not be in line with the expectations of her core fan base? The data is clear. Fans want authenticity, and they want to hear more about basketball. If Angel can't get back on track, she risks losing not just the views, but the very audience that helped her become a star in the first place.
DaBaby, this one too. So fans is definitely still bringing up that DaBaby interview, which that one never came out. She received harsh criticism from her fan base for that specific